This call is now being
Esta es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello,
Hello?
Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing
Going
pretty
good.
good.
Going good, bro.
You know, thank you, and I want to go ahead and thank you, for calling in and connecting with us again. Here at you have a collect call from, and
Yeah.
man, hey, the audio right now on the call is sounding A1 right now. Did they get all that sorted out yet, or is it during certain times of the day that the audio tends to work better than others?
Well, me and my Sally noticed that at 5 p.m., 5:30, it starts messing up. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was messed up all night. Like at 7:30, that's usually when I jump on. 8 o'clock, it was done. It wasn't even letting us log in. So it had this moment, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think they're probably implementing a new system and it's messing everything up right now.
Man, or maybe they're doing it intentionally. Who knows? You just never know with these companies, because
Yeah.
it's not like GTO started offering phone service or collect calls. Yesterday, I could definitely remember them offering calls back in 97, 98 and whatnot in the halls and stuff like that, even the county. So
Yeah.
so they're not green behind the ears. So who knows what kind of operation, what kind of UPN operation they're running over there, but it's all bad.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah.
And I know this messes up, like things like that mess up the show too, because I can imagine someone trying to call in and it's going all crazy,
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that a few nights ago, or maybe I think it was like 2 nights ago. I was trying to do a live stream with Savvy Javi, and
Yeah.
we were just able to talk for like a minute or two. Boom, the calls, and then on his end, the calls would get disrupted, and then it sucks because it doesn't cut off the call. The call stays connected, even if I hang up.
Yeah.
He still wouldn't be, you still can't call me because the system thinks that the call's still connected. You gotta wait the whole 15 minutes before you could go ahead and place and try an attempt to do it again. And
Yeah. Yeah, on our side it says you have a call in progress. Like you can't call right now, and it hangs up on us. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You gotta wait the 15 minutes for it to come back.
yeah. So I'm sure on your end, it's definitely, frustrating your tablets in jail, on a timeout till it thinks that you're off the tablet already, or off that call, those 15-minute call.
Yeah, and before I will struggle and I will fight with the phone, and I'll be like, okay, I got one, and then it hangs up again, and you're struggling and you're fighting, and sometimes I'll be on there 20 minutes just to get one little second to call. But now I'm like, hey, you know what, I'm done. I tried 3 times and I'm out. I'm like, you know what, my people are not going nowhere. They'll be there tomorrow, and I just resume tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it can get frustrating.
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if you tell me that, there's been times where you've seen or heard somebody smashing their tablets into a million little pieces just because they're not able to, reach out to their wife or find out where their girlfriend's at, or things of that nature, because, having these tablets, it makes it really,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
it makes it really easy, to reach out to people now. You don't have to sign up for the phone. You could do it at any time. So just imagine if you're used to talking to your lady every day, or you want to make sure your lady's going from work to home. You can't do that right now because the GTO is messing up the service.
And just from myself, speaking for myself only, I haven't talked to my people in a minute. It feels like a week or two, because at the times they get off from work, sometimes the thing's messing up at that time, you know, and it feels like a month actually. Very few talking lately.
Yeah, you know, as far as myself, yeah, I kind of feel like that too. That we really haven't been, I haven't been talking to you guys, as, you know, as much as I normally would. But I think one of the biggest
Yeah.
things is that like the whole phone situation, because it is definitely frustrating. I could say, you know, when I'm trying to, you know, do these lives and whatnot, and it's not getting anywhere. So I know
Yeah.
the audience and the listeners, you know, they're used to hearing that crisp audio, and then to bring them some audio that sounds like you're underwater or half
Yeah, and then
human, half robot.
we didn't pay the bill.
Yeah,
There used to be in a professional setting and we didn't pay the bill, huh?
it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Hey, so let me ask you, because you know, last time we did a GTL video visit. You brought you know, we had
Yeah.
a special guest coming on, or that came on, Chupi. How's Chupi? How's what's his diet consisting of these days right now?
Choopy's a beast. Choopy's diet consists of crickets and that's it, mostly crickets. Every now and then spiders, you know? But he's a beast in his last cricket adventure. You warm him up because he's asleep. He's like cold, so they're lazy, right? They try to fall asleep on your hand. They try to fall asleep here. They try to fall asleep there. So we warm up the hot pot, James, and we put like a trapo on the hot pot and put him on the rag. And as the hot pot's getting hotter, this fool will like lay out. Oh, and he'll be stretched out, and then he'll get up. Like he'll be fully active. That fool will be like, "What's up? What's up?" So I got him like that, and then I threw the cricket in there. And yeah, he looked like a dinosaur. He looked like a mini dinosaur to me.
We're definitely gonna have to get up some close up shots of Chupi one of these days, and I'm gonna have to go ahead and
Yeah.
Photoshop him. You know, throw a six pack on him, and hopefully he goes viral.
Yeah, he got the mane now. He got the mane. He's grown a little bit. It looks like he's an iguana now. It might be with tape and green paper, but it's there, you know.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's what's up, man. That's man. You know, I know up in Lancaster, you know, they got the dog program where you know some of those gentlemen are tasked with you know, training dogs and whatnot. And you, on the other hand, you know, you got a pet lizard, so that's on a whole different level right there.
Yeah. Man, you know, I'm envious of them. Everybody that's in the dog program. They had the dog program in Folsom, I think, for the women too. So they didn't exclude them. They also gave women dog blocks. I don't know what you call them, but Lancaster, I think, Mill Creek. I don't know if San Quentin has them, but there's a lot of prisons with a dog program, and believe it or not, that dog program, they be letting lifers out, bro. Like they have I know in Lancaster they have a high rate. Like you go through that dog program, and your chances are good at board.
So then a lot of people that apply for that, you know, they obviously, they want to get there, you know, primarily, you know, they want to go home, but then, you know, as an added bonus, you also get to train these dogs, and possibly, you know, come up with some type of work skill that could help you, you know, when you come home.
Oh, I didn't even know that part. But what I will say is that, you know, growing up, and we got warped belief systems, and we're dysfunctional, right? Our thinking patterns are dysfunctional. Our behavior is dysfunctional. Everything's going on crazy with us, right? But for a lot of inmates, I would say at least for a lot of guys in here, your first experiences of empathy are not for another human being. Your first experience of empathy are for an animal. Like when you're watching National Geographic, and that's nature. And one, you know, these whatever they're called, water buffaloes are crossing, and the alligators got to get one of them, you know, and it's like 300. You're like, dang, that sucks, right? So I only say this because I know many individuals in here have expressed having empathy on a dog or a cat or an animal, and then they look at the human and they have no empathy on them, right? And then they had to tell themselves, like, what's wrong with me that I can feel sorry for this animal, but when it comes to another human being, I can't feel sorry for them, right? And that's why I think those programs are so big, as far as like board connection, as far as getting dates goes, because I think those people realize that when you put this guy in this building and he has to be in here 2 years or a year with this animal and train him, groom him, he graduates, he goes to a family, he does it to the new puppy, they kind of know that person's developing empathy. And in them dog programs, at least in Lancaster, I've seen so many videos, right? I do believe they cross racial, normally you don't live with a different race, right? I believe in a dog program. I do believe, and I could be wrong though, but I do believe from the videos I've seen, I think they're mixing races. That way they can shake this prison shit off them, That way they can bring them to more humanity, like, fool, you need to let this go. And it's an honor yard right there. That I'm only talking about Lancaster right here. But as far as, in my opinion, in my eyes, I think they're doing amazing things, and they've been doing it. And they've been doing it for a long time. Because I remember going in 2010, I remember going and stopping at Lancaster, and I'm leaving.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I'm leaving New Delano, and I'm going to Calipat, right? And we do a pullover at Lancaster. And it just so happens I know one of the guys we're picking up. And he was out of West Covina named Monster, some black dude. And I'm like, what's up, fool? Like, we're on the bus, so talking's limited. But I'm still like, what's up, fool? Like, I didn't even know you were here. I would love to get here. And he, at the time, he was like, man, this ain't the yard for you. And I was like, I didn't get it. And I'm like, what you mean, fool? Like, I see this place next to a city. Like, you can see the houses. It looks lovely. I would have loved to went there. And he was like, I've been here like 6 weeks, or 6 months, 6 weeks or 6 months, one or the other. And he's like, they got me out of here. And I'm like, why? He goes, it ain't the place for us. And I was like, oh, I get it. And he's like, yeah, fool, they say it's an honor yard, but it's like, we can't make it right here. And at the time, I was in full swing, so I probably would have got kicked out immediately too, seeing some of the stuff they do. But being older and being more receptive to change, definitely a great place to go. You have to be ready for it in your mind, though.
Yeah. So like you say, yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, but it's a great opportunity if you are, ready to make those changes and open up your mind and are ready to come home.
Yeah, it's a great place, man, and they give dates out there. Like I'm saying, that dog, what they do is they show us videos in the institution. Now, not all institutions show all the videos. Like it's hit and miss, right? But for the last couple of years, all I do is watch these rehabilitative videos. No matter who's running them, no matter if it's Scott Bunnick, ARC with the CGA, if it's Healing Dialogue in Action, if it's the Pause program, right? For Pause for Life, I think it's called, with the dogs. And that's where I get my little information from. So seeing the videos, you can kind of tell, like, what's going on over there,
Yeah. So right now that you mentioned that, there are two things. So, I recently saw this YouTube video or documentary that came out on YouTube. It was labeled Block 5, where they where it actually the recording took place in Lancaster State Prison, and I did see some of those things on there where that you had mentioned, like the dog program, and then they also had like this honor dorm or honor block, or I'm not exactly sure what the title of it is, but while they were there recording,
le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
They did film a gentleman get found suitable, to go home, and it was very emotional moment,
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't there, but you know, it definitely, you know, touched me in some way.
Yeah. The gentleman, what was he? Mexican, white, black?
I want to say he was Mexican or Hispanic or Latino.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
um, and I think a second one might have also got paroled, but I didn't watch all of it. You know, I just kind of I think I watched
Yeah.
like half of it, and then if you want to go, give me a call back because it's about to cut off.
Okay.
All right, all right. Hey, Biddy K, you know I appreciate you know you tapping in and dropping that comment on there. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. They didn't focus on the dog program, but yeah, I did see um a gentleman that did you know have a dog, and unfortunately I wasn't able to watch the whole documentary. I think I watched about half of it, but you know watching documentaries like that, I'm sure it gives a lot of people hope that didn't have hope before. They're actually able to see it with their eyes, and maybe you know it'll click something in their head and
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada propagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
hello.
Yeah. Hello.
So yeah, so I was watching this documentary. It's called Block Five, and I watched about half of it, and they were walking around with this gentleman. He went by the name of Hoser. He was up from
Okay.
the San Fernando area, and
Yeah.
it's funny because you know like the first thing I think, and like in work, I'm conditioned to you know to a certain to a certain degree. So the first thing am I thinking is this the main
Yeah.
line or is this SNY? Like that's my first question.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking
Yeah,
like
because it looks. Because it looks. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
so yeah so like that's like the first thing that I was that you know that came into my mind. But you know instead of focusing on the positive that they're you know that the positive things that they're doing in their life you know to change. And unfortunately I wasn't able to watch the whole documentary. I watched about half of it. Hopefully you know sometime this week I'll get some
Yeah.
time to finish it up. And then you know how you were talking about was it empathy that you said?
Yeah. Empathy. Yeah.
Empathy. Okay, so it's funny that you say that because last night I was watching this other documentary or series with Scott Peterson, and
Okay.
that's a word that he used when he was speaking. And I'm not sure if you're aware. And I recently found out that he's trying to, well, he's been trying to get a retrial for years. But in this documentary I was watching, they were pointing out a lot of stuff, a lot of events, a lot of evidence that the judge didn't allow into his case or his trial.
Trial.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, wow. But then you know what? Like after seeing all that stuff that they withheld,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I'm not surprised because you know things like that happen every single day to our people. You know, when you go to
Yeah.
trial, they're always suppressing evidence and whatnot, and you don't get the same type of funds for your defense as far as you know having private investigators, you know, to investigate and you know try to find witnesses or corroborate your alibi and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And you sparked a massive thought in my brain right now.
and what
You
was
know,
that? Yeah.
have you ever seen the movie? The Rock stars in it, Dwayne Johnson, and it's called Snitch.
Yeah, I have. As a matter of fact, I have.
Yeah. Okay, is that a true story? Can you Google that
They say
to
it
find
is.
out? Because I don't want to say nothing. That's crazy, right? Okay, to the best of my knowledge, from what the movie says or what it portrays, that's a true story, you know. And I just watched it this week, and I seen it before, and there was nothing else on, so we just watched it, me and my Sally. And when it's over, it just dawns on me, you know. And I'm like, you know what, fool? Like this kid, you know, and I hate to say it like this, but there's only one way I know how to say it, you know. This kid is white, and he got fucked in the law. So for him, they go all out. And I'm not saying the dad did anything wrong. The dad's amazing for doing that. If that's a real story, right? But my point is this: they make a movie off it. They make a movie off of something that happens to people every day. But they don't ever say, like, oh, he's Mexican, or he's black, or he's Asian, or he's a minority. Like, let's make a movie. But the minute it happens to, like, and I'm not even talking about, like, the white people I know, because the white people I know are, like, ghetto. They're gutter with it, you know? So, like, I'm separating the white people to, like, a higher class, you know? And when it happens to someone like that, then it's a problem. Then the system's messed up. Then we got to look into these laws. Then we got to fix this. Hey, this is wrong. How could you do this, right? But when it's happening over and over, and you got, I don't know, 800,000 black fools locked up for the same shit, 800,000 Mexicans locked up for it's not a problem. But the moment it hits a poor little white guy, a privileged white guy, you know, let's make a movie, because we got to spread the word. This is wrong. And when you say that, it sparked that, because those were the feelings I was sharing with my cellmate in here, you know. And I don't want to get all crazy with it, you know, but that's like a reality, you know.
And you're definitely right about that. I mean, this has been going on for decades, if not for, you know, hundreds of years. You know, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
It's just like you said earlier. You know, it affected somebody that was in a different class. So
yeah.
You know, he was able to, you know, save his son, and he didn't have to, you know, go through the whole legal system. But for a lot of us, we weren't fortunate enough, you know, to, you know, be born into, you know, those type of situations, and we know we get caught up in the system, and that's what it is, you know. Same old story. So for me, like, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, like when I was watching that, and I mentioned it to my wife, I was like, you know what? Like you said, this is nothing new. It's nothing new. The only thing is that now, you know, it's affecting somebody that's in a different class. So I'm like, man, like now they get a little bit of taste of, you know, what we go through. And I'm not saying that you know, when we're out there committing crimes that we shouldn't be punished. It's just sometimes the punishment it's more than it should be.
Yeah, and I want to say this to the people that haven't seen the movie. From what I get, I'm not no lawyer. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I'm just a criminal most of my life, right? From what I get in the movie, they were trying to. He gets busted. The kid gets busted, and they have a mandatory minimum, which means there's a minimum date on the time you get out. So for him, it was like, oh, there's a mandatory minimum, 10 years and up. And his parents couldn't believe this. They were like, what? He didn't even do nothing like this and that. And they were like, wow, it's a mandatory. It's clear in the law. It's clear. And that's what probably frustrates me more than anything, because it's mandatory minimum, and we all get it, and no one's complaining. We just sit here like dummies, right? And it goes on forever. But when something like that happened, and I'm glad it happened because it brought a light to the problem, right? I don't know if they fixed the problem, but at least it brought a spotlight to it. The lady's in there, the actor, she's famous, Suzanne something, I believe her name is, right? And she's like, wow, we need 500 grams of cocaine. We need something. We need this for the bust or whatever, right? But the whole thing is it's a mandatory minimum that nobody could believe. And when somebody heard it, some director heard it, they probably couldn't believe it either. Just like when I was conditioned to believe juvenile life was normal. because California does it, and the United States does it. So I thought the whole world did it. But when I'm sitting in prison and I found out that us and Israel are the only two nations that done it, and Israel with 7 people and us with I don't know how many thousands of people, right? It blew my mind like that. I couldn't believe it.
And yeah,
I think that's why the law started changing, because Scott Budnick and them, I don't think they could believe it either. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean this guy never gets to come home, You
know what? I think, you know what? The laws, I don't think they're changing because they see the errors of their ways. I think they have alternative motive to what they're doing.
I can tell you this. I could touch upon this.
Yeah.
For ICEMAN, numbers, statistics, baby. In 2010, 11, 12, 13, all that time, like I had a phone, bro. Like if you caught me with a phone, I got one the next day. If I leave my phone now and it gets busted with a neighbor, I'm getting one the next day. Like I lived with phones right there. So I used to Google, and I'm like the only inmate at this time that was Googling, because you go to the yard, you'd be like, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? Look at that. And everyone's like not interested, They're doing their own thing. And somehow, some way, I seen videos, maybe on YouTube. This is before 2014. This is before SB260. This is what I want to make the big point about. Before all the law started changing, they were worried, bro, about 2018. And I didn't get it because I'm learning this for the first time back then. And I'm like, what's so big about 2018? And the more I'm digging, the more I'm looking at YouTube videos, the more I'm doing this and that. In California, at least. Not no other states, but California, over here. In 2018, the number of inmates who are over 55 or 50 was going to triple or double. It was some number, some statistic they had. And when they say that, I'm like, okay, that measures up. I'm going to be older right there. Everyone's getting older. I can see that. The problem is this. When I'm a young, healthy inmate, and I'm sick right now, people, so I apologize for my voice, right? But when I'm healthy, they don't pay nothing. I believe they get like close to 100,000, give or take. Let me just be generous when I say that. They get close to 100,000, give or take, for me. Now, they get that same amount for my cellmate. So that means one cell is 200,000. That's what taxpayers are paying to hold us in here. Now, where does it go? I have no idea. We get the same sheets, same clothes, same everything. The meals cost $1 each, right? Now, I know they pay the cops, but that's still going to be a little portion. But when an inmate gets older, now I need shoulder surgery. Now I'm going to medical because I'm sick. Like, you know what? I developed cancer in here. My heart's weak. Now all the bills come. So let's say that 100,000 goes to like 70. Or let's say it goes to like 50. They're not content with having the 50,000 no more. Because in their eyes, they look at it like, oh, this inmate's costing me money. Your little scumbag cost me $50,000. You're worth $100,000. Get rid of him. So I say that to say this. In 2010 or 11 or 12 or whenever, it was all over the internet that California needed to figure something out because the inmates were aging. The population was going to increase. So then, and I'm not saying only because of that, but I'm saying maybe that helped the bills pass faster. Maybe there was less resistance to pass the SB260. Maybe there was less resistance to let LWOPs out again. Maybe there was less resistance to come with Prop 57 in the future, right? Elderly parole, right? Because now I want my whole 100,000, bro. I don't want 50,000 for him. Let's get all these old timers out. They'll worry about their medical bills out there, and give me the young meat. Give me the fresh young bodies, because this is the business. And I do believe everything I'm saying is a contributing factor. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because now look at me, I got a chance to go home. The door's open, and I love that.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
But at the same time, I'm not blind to anything either. You know, they like knowledge is power. The more knowledge you know, the more you know about stuff. And when you don't know it, you just don't know it. You know.
What you know what right now that you mentioned, you know, that the doors are open. How long I don't think we ever talked about this. How long do you think the doors will remain open before they revert it back to the way it is? Because obviously, I mean, it's based on the administration that's in office right now. So once this administration is out and somebody else takes over, you know, they might have a different plan.
No, that's true. But I don't see it in the near future, because if Biden wins, it stays like it is. If Trump wins, Trump's for inmates. It stays like it is, right? Trump sees money. And in Trump's mind, he's probably like, what are we doing taking away $100,000 from taxpayers to hold it?
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Did he really do that? Like did he really do something to qualify all this time? Then you know what? It's a slap on the hand. Let him out. Trump's more like he's more like old school like that. So I can't see it changing with him or Biden. But I mean, after that, yeah, I could see it. But at the same time, what I just said is it's a business, and I think they just finally figured out how to have the perfect business. Kick them out while they're old. If we don't get those medical costs, keep them while they're young. Still give life sentences. Still do all that. But when they're older, they could get out on their own. When they're young, we want them. We want young bodies. That way, don't dip into the money we're making. That's how I honestly think it's going down. It's a $1 billion business, bro. So 50,000 here and there, they're like, nah, we ain't doing that. Kick them fools out.
And you could give us a call back. I know it's about to hang up again. All right, so you know these calls are only they're only good for 15 minutes, and after those 15 minutes are up, then you know we got to start off on a fresh one, and he should be calling us back shortly, and then we'll go ahead and continue with the conversation. And for anybody that's listening right now, I do have some other interviews lined up, or some topics, you know, that are going to be coming up later on. I think at about 5 or so, we have Jesse and David coming on. Hopefully, as long as the phone system, you know, stays, you know, continues maintaining, you know, good quality.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello? All right.
Yeah.
You know, right now that you mentioned Biden and Trump, it triggered a memory. I heard somewhere that the directive to let prisoners out came directly from the White House, you know, to lessen the prison population.
Yeah. So far these ass presidents have had it on lock with prison reform. Like, nobody's saying just let them out, right? Obviously, people who have heard the show can see at least drips of the certain things we have to do to try to better ourselves, right? The little bit of knowledge we're trying to gain within ourselves to never come back to prison, to never commit future crime, right? I think that's a good way. I think that's a good way to start, because you don't want to just let anyone out and then they come back to prison. Because LIFER is coming back. We have such a low. It could be higher, but who knows? But in my mind, it's still below 0.something% of coming back. That's lifers. That's people who went out through the board system. I'm not talking about a lifer that finds a loophole in the court system and he gets out through the courts. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about lifers that earned their freedom through the prison board system. those are like 0 point something 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 on coming back, right? It's such a low amount. Now you got other inmates that they don't have to do everything we have to do because we have to go see a board hearing. And you go in there, you're unprepared. Just think about normal human beings. They're like, we're not letting this idiot out. He don't know nothing. This dumbass been in here 20 years, don't get it? Okay, send him back to prison. We'll see you in 3 years or 5 years or whatever. But the other guys that go home, they don't have to go through that. So they're going out not knowing none of the stuff we know now. And that population comes back. I don't know what their recidivism rate is, but if you could Google the recidivism rate, we'll have a number for the audience right now.
Okay, give me a moment. I'll go ahead and look that up.
And I know it's going to be a much higher number, bro. It's going to be a much higher number because I'm going to share something that I did not know. I did not know all these years, right? I have a nephew that he comes in and out of jail all the time. And I guess every time he goes out, they have like a fiesta. They have like a festival, you know? And they make an event out of it. And everybody's over and everyone's happy to see him. And I did not know this. And knowing it, I didn't think nothing of it. But one of the COs at this prison I'm at right here, he told me his front door neighbor, his like across the street, the neighbor, was a little kid, and he goes, I used to talk to him when he was like 14. And I could see him going down the wrong path, and I was trying to save him. And that fool came to prison. And he got out at 21. And he goes, man, there were so many cars and so many people, and they had a big old Volo for him. And he was like, for getting out of prison. And I was like, I'm two-sided. I know the family missed him, so I could see that. But think about a young guy coming to prison, going home to this grand fiesta party for him. He's having the time of his life at this night, probably carries on for like a couple of days. Prison don't seem that bad to someone like that. Because guess what? When they get out next time, they know exactly what they're going to get, this treatment they're going to get, and that's the reward system. And it's not for going to prison. Obviously, it's for coming home. But in the cycle of things, look at what that little effect might have on people. Because it ain't that bad. Hey, I'm going to go home. Last time I had a blast. They live with that story forever. It's going to hold them for the next 2 or 3 years in prison. And then they get to do it again. James, you got the number?
So I want for that number, you want of people that are former lifers, right? Not the whole state of California, like everybody.
Oh, we'll do both numbers. Yeah, we'll do that number too.
Okay, so right now so far, so right now I've just been able to find the information for the whole state of California, and what I mean by that is it's all type of crimes, not just people that.
Everybody.
Everybody, yeah. So for that, it says has it's an average of about 50% over the last 10 years. So so 1 in 1, so if they're not gonna come back. So I mean, as far as number wise, I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I know it would be bad.
I think that's bad.
It would if it was.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
If I was one of those numbers, and
I think that's bad, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's bad. And you know what the good thing about prison is that I'm constantly telling you and the audience, it's evolving, right? So in 10 years from now, I don't think they're going to have those same numbers. And I'm talking with full criminals. Like, somewhere along the lines, you're going to come in here and pick up a book. You're going to come in here and do something. And it was never available to us before. And it's going to be available to you, the young people that come in here. And they're not going to be sitting like dummies. They're going to be like, I could get a what? I could get an A degree? Oh, I could get a bachelor's after that? Oh, I'm in. So, again, what you don't know, you don't know. But the more knowledge you have, it starts opening up opportunities and doors, and you start making grown man decisions, You know
what? And right now, I haven't been able to find the numbers for or the percentage for lifers, but it's
Yeah.
definitely piqued my curiosity. And right now that you mentioned, lifers not going back. I recently last week I read something in the newspaper or online, and I read the headline, and it piqued my interest because the headline read convicted Las Vegas murderer who then killed two post-release, shot third person over 5 days. So there was this gentleman that I think he killed two people when he was a teenager,
Yeah.
and he got sentenced to,
Yeah.
I believe he got two life sentences. And recently, with these laws changing,
Yeah.
he was able to go back into court, and he got resentenced. So I think he got released. I want to say maybe like within the last few years, and sometime last month
Yeah.
he killed two
Did it
people.
again.
Yeah, he killed two people, and then I was talking to her. Me and my wife were talking about. I had mentioned it to her, and um, she was like, why would they just let him out, without any type of rehabilitation? I was like, well, you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know how the state of Nevada works, how they handle things. And she was like, well, if he was like a gang member,
Yeah.
they should throw him over to the. And my wife, this is what she calls the SNY. She calls it the NYS yard. And I always have a good laugh about that when she calls it
What's that?
the SNY yard. She calls it the NYS
Esta
yard.
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
The NYS yard. For ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know, that's New York Sinners. The New York Sinners yard. Yeah.
I stopped trying to correct her many moons ago because
Yeah.
she always gonna revert to the same thing. I was like, well, you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know how Nevada works. As far as
Well, this is how it works, James. Even in California, if you're let out through the courts, you don't need no rehabilitation because the courts ain't here about that. They're not saying, hey, this guy stabbed 3 people in there. He got no rehabilitation. They don't care about that. They're releasing you. That's why I clearly want to state when I talk about lifers and having a 0% rate on coming back, I'm talking about lifers that got out through the board system. I'm not talking about the many lifers that get out through the court system because that's a completely different ball game. They don't have to know anything we know. So they don't have to learn their internal triggers. They don't have to really examine themselves. They don't got to know what makes me tick, what's going to make me react. If I'm about to react, what's going to stop me? Like, they don't have those questions. That takes years and years of you wanting it. And the reason you want it is because you want your freedom. So when you're trying to go to the board, that's again, everyone that gets denied at board, this might sound easy to people on the streets. And it sounds easy to me. They just want you to know yourself. Well, when you say it like that, oh, I got this all day long. I'm getting a date. I went to my first board hearing. I knew I was going to get out. They said, no, get the hell out of here. When I look back at it, I sound like an idiot. Because I know me. No one's going to know me more than me. But I cannot verbally answer their questions. And they're asking the question over and over again, and I don't even get it. I get that maybe like 2 years later or like a year and a half later when I'm looking at the transcript, and I'm like, damn, that fool's asking me the same thing the whole time. And my mind could not pick it up because they're asking you in a different way. The question sounds completely different. Well, when you get to a point where no matter what they ask you, and you're cracking a home run, I think that's when they say, this guy gets it. I trust you. I'm gonna put my name behind you. So when I say we have like a 0% rate of coming back, these are all gentlemen, and nobody's perfect, but they're all gentlemen that have spent years trying to get to a place where they can verbally answer anything. And the whole part about it coming out verbally is not saying it, but if you can do that, then they know you got it inside you. They know this fool can have hiccups, and he'll be all right.
And Joe, just to not overlook any questions in the chat here, we have Biddy K, tuning in from London, E16.
UK.
Yep, UK. Yep.
E16 London Street Avenue. Okay. I feel you. Okay.
And then we also have a newcomer here that goes by J-Lo, and she has a question. She's asking, do you guys know if they're starting to let LWOPs come home now?
Yes. Yeah, J-Lo. And by the way, I loved all the movies and the music. Support you all the time. Thank you for tuning in right here. LWOPs are going home. And LWOPs have been going home. They have been going home for the last couple of years now. Now, James was talking about a Lancaster. They got a video to Healing Dialogue in Action, and you could Google that. And I'm sure you're going to find the video. All three of those men talking are all on the streets, and all three of those men had life without the possibility of parole. All of them are home. And they ain't home recently. They've been home since 2021. So some of them probably went out 2018, 2019, 2020. One of the friends I got on there, he got out in 21, April. So yes, LWOPs are coming home. And I don't care if you got busted at 25. The way it's looking now, I don't even care if you got busted at 27. If you get on it and you really put your foot forward and you're really like, I'm done with this prison shit. I am out because my family, they need me. If dude says, I'm putting J-Lo before everything, I think dude gets out. Now, I can't say how long, but I can tell you this. Why would you put your feet up, kick back, and not do nothing when so many other LWOPs are...
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
All across California. I got a friend, James. Can you Google something?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't say his name, but Google Freddy Krueger. I don't even know how to word this. Probably put the Freddy Krueger killer, right? Google stuff like that and start looking for a real person in California. This man has LWOP, and he's a Christian, and he's been a Christian since about 2008, I want to say. A righteous Christian. He's a man of God. Like, there's no other way I could say that. He's going to heaven. I know this. But while all these LWOPs are going home, he's really been kicking his feet up. He really hasn't done nothing. And me and other people have been telling him, like, hey, fool, you better get with it.
All right. So I think I might have found him right now. I'm going to double check with him right now as soon as he calls back. And double check if what I found out here online, it's who he wanted me to look up via Google. And for anybody that's tapping in, I appreciate you guys listening and participating in the chat. And earlier on, when I was speaking, I had mentioned that Jesse and David are going to be coming on later on at about 5, and then I also believe I have Robert coming on also. So I'm hoping that the phone service stays.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Hello, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I found him.
Okay.
Was he convicted back in
San
1988?
Pedro.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
yeah,
him.
I
That's
found him.
San Pedro, baby. That's a good friend of mine's, right? And he's putting his feet up, and he's not doing nothing. And we've been trying to tell him, like, look, fool, and he's doing good. He does not get in trouble. But what I'm saying is, put your feet up and kick back. I'm saying you're not learning the things you need to learn. Because the day they say LWOPs could go home, they're not going to let them walk out the door like that. They're going to have a panel like us, and you're going to have to answer questions. And when you can't answer the questions, only you got to blame yourself because you see it happening. You see other LWOPs going home. You see lifers going home. We never seen this ever, right? And I'll give you an example. I have a buddy right now. He got busted at 31 years old. He has life without the possibility of parole. He is right here every day with us at the groups. He comes, he shares, he learns, and he's doing that because he knows one day they're going to let LWOPs out. And that day they do, he's trying to be ready for that day. He's trying to be ready to answer all those questions and be like, this is why I did this is why I did that, that's how I did it, da-da-da-da, keep going, right? Because he knows they're not just going to let you out. So people that could see the future, I will recommend you start putting action into the things you want. You start making sure your actions align with your goals. Because you can have goals and you can have dreams and you can say, I'm going to be out one day. But if your actions don't align with that, I mean, it's going to be a much harder road to walk. Because eventually you're going to see, like, damn, I wasted time. I should have been doing this a long time ago. And that's what I got to say about LWOPs. They are getting out. And that's what I got to say about people slacking on their macking when it comes to learning this stuff, because they're not going to let you out just like that. You probably will have even a worse board than us because you had LWOP. But if you don't know stuff that you need to know, that's the one thing I can guarantee. They're never going to let you out. They'll deny you over and over. And I don't care if it's 3-year denials 10 times in a row to max out 30 years. Like, you are not getting out without knowing the stuff you need to know.
And you know what? Because you've been there, like,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You know, being stuck on a certain being stuck on a certain way, just, you know, of thinking for decades upon decades. What do you think what do you think will be the turning point, or what's something that'll help somebody open up their eyes and want change? Because you obviously you can't force somebody to change unless they want it.
Okay, that's two different things though, James. The guy I'm talking about, the LWOP, the Freddy Cougar,
yeah,
he changed. He's a good person. I have no doubt he will never hurt nobody again. But what I'm talking about is learning what you need to know about yourself and being able to articulate that and speak it and have them throw any question at you and you be able to talk it, because he changed. And his change is genuine. But when it comes to the board, if you think you're going to go in there, how do you change? Oh, God. Okay, tell us more about that. Oh, I read the Bible. I have faith. I have a higher power. I believe in Jesus. I pray every day. Da-da-da-da. They're going to be like, this fool doesn't have a clue. Because they're not going to respect that, bro. And it's hard for us to wrap our minds around that, because it's like, that's the truth. Like, that is the absolute truth. And in their mind, they're like, if that's all you got to rely on, guess what happens when you have a bad day? And you're like, you know, how could you put me through this, God? You know? So they want to know beyond doubt that you will never come back to prison. And change, I believe change is possible. I'm a firm believer change is possible without the rehabilitative knowledge you have to know to get out from board. But those two things go hand in hand if you want freedom, because you can't get freedom without knowing the things you need to know. It will just never come. And you could have changed and they can applaud you over and over again, but they will never let you out. And that's, you know, a lot of people think that's unfair, you know, but I get it, you know. They don't want to let no one out that they think you're a possibility to come back. We're not going to let you go home and kill somebody again.
And and if they do something like
and
that.
And the truth is, James, the truth is this. When you change, you did change. But imagine you changing and you having all kinds of safety nets in place. If this happens, that happens. I can name 20 of them. If that happens, I got 20 more. So, again, the knowledge is power. And they want to know you have the knowledge to prevent anything from happening. They don't want to hear. They deny people, bro, for going in there and say, what's your coping tools? Prayer or meditation. People say that. People have said that and got denied. Because the board's like, prayer or meditation? Okay, anything to add? No. Okay, cool. Us either. See you in 3 years, you know? They're not your friends in that board hearing. I'll tell you that.
And these board members, who chooses these board members? Are they like ex-prison staff or correctional officers? Where do they come from? Do you know any background as far as where these board members come from?
I think it changed now that the laws changed, right? I believe Gavin Newsom, I think his team has been doing a great job trying to get old school war dogs out of there that keep giving denials and put in fresh new people and training the new people like, hey, this is what prison is, because I know their training is more extensive. Like, I can tell you my past. I can tell you what stuff happened in prison. I could say stuff like that, right? But when they look at me, they're probably looking at it like, okay, this fool got PTSD, this fool got this fool got that, this fool got that, and I'm looking at it like, no, I don't. But they are training them to be like, kind of like more compassionate to the situation we went through, even though we were at fault to come. We put ourselves in prison. So I think they're training them like, don't let a killer out. That's what we're saying not to do. But if you could see genuine change and he proves it, and you're asking questions and he can't stop answering them correctly, then we got confidence in him. You know? Because before you could answer everything correctly and you were just getting denials left and right. Nope. It was only until 2014 that it really changed in California. And the doors open for us all in California. You got to want it. And I know that's a hard thing to, probably not for someone on the streets, probably not for J-Lo, probably not for no one else hearing this podcast. To you guys, it's simple. It's like, how could you not want to come home? And I'm saying that it's not that you don't want to come home. Believe me, everybody in prison wants to come home. But when you feel like there's no way out, that's a huge obstacle to keep you right where you're at. When you feel like, well, this is how life works. These were the cards I was dealt. When you have that mindset, and that mindset's in a lot of us, it's hard to walk away. Because again, for most of us, at least in my opinion, at least from what I could see, I see people going home here all day long now. I never seen that where I was at. And I had to separate myself. This is me talking about me only. I had to separate myself because I knew I wanted to come home. Like, no, I'm done. I gave a good X amount of years of my life, and I'm done with the Army now. I'm retiring. That's it. I'm out. I'm going home. That's a lot easier said than done. And that's the part where I don't think the audience will understand that. Because you You try to be good, you try to do this, you try to do that, something always happens. And then you're back at square one like, fuck. Like, how'd this shit happen? I did everything so this shit was not going to happen again. And the universe is funny like that, you know? So until I could, like, really humble myself and be like, fuck it. I guess so. I guess this is what I got to do to go home. I'm going to go home. And now, again, I see everybody going home. And there is no greater accomplishment for a lifer. There is nothing. I could go home and get a job that pays $50 an hour. The $50 an hour doesn't beat me going home. Me going home beats everything.
Let me ask you, do you regret that you didn't make the change sooner? You didn't choose to walk away?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say why right now. Okay, in my first board hearing, the commissioner was asking, he was asking a question that I had no idea what he was asking. And basically,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
basically he was asking, why didn't you let this shit go a long time ago? And I couldn't comprehend what he was saying. I couldn't comprehend it. I knew what he was saying, but I'm like, what difference would it have made? What difference does it make when I'm telling you I left and this is why I left? Like, you should know to let me out now. Like, that's my standpoint, right? His standpoint was like this. If you would have just left here, and he had a specific date, he goes, you would have been past all this. And we probably could have found you suitable. And in my mind, that doesn't work. I mean, it works now. Now that I'm looking back at it, I get it. But it wasn't working that day. And what he was trying to say is, if you could have separated yourself from this gang lifestyle, and he was using the date 2012 for his reasons, right? He was like, if you could have changed right here because you had this person come back into your life or whatever he's saying, right? We could have been past this. And because you didn't, we're not past this. Because your mind is criminally entrenched. You can't even see how deep it goes. So, yeah, I wish I would have left a long time ago.
But let's say, so you mentioned that he gave you a date 2012. 2012.
Yeah.
What was that even a thought in your?
What happened?
No. Like.
Oh, hell no. Hell no, dude. 2012, I'm living at the top, bro. I'm in Calipatch State Prison. I'm having a ball, right? And no, I never, James, I'm going to tell you this. I never thought about leaving until I did it. And it's funny because we don't all have the same experience.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I learned after I came to decide, right, that other people used to think about it all the time. And I was like I couldn't fathom. I couldn't even comprehend how that was possible, right? I was like, fool, if I thought about it once, I don't think my conscience would let me stay. I'll be like, no, you're not good. You're not.
I'm laughing because I get what he's saying. Just having that thought, then that's it. You're in his mind. You were done already. Just having the thought. So I'm not sure if that makes sense to anybody listening to this conversation, but it definitely does make sense to me, and that's why I was laughing and whatnot. But right now, so we're just waiting for him to call back. As soon as he calls back, then we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and reconnect and continue with the conversation. And shout out to anybody that catches this stream on the rebound. ICEMAN, Fishlayer SoCal, Righteous Monkey, D86, Lifestyles Chronicles, Richard de Colorado, Marlene, and all of all of the people that tune in. Really appreciate it. And I have some new ideas that
This call is now being
Este
recorded.
es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I never ever thought about it, bro, and I never thought I would ever be over here in a million years, because I made up my mind a long time ago when I was young. And when you barely come to prison, you're learning things, and that's one of the things you learn, that people leave. And so many people used to leave in like 98, 99, 2000, and Tehachapi, my first prison, right? I used to see every time I went to the hole, half of the hole was leaving, and half of the hole was there for doing bad shit. So right there, I told myself I will never leave. I told myself, you'll die on this line. They will have to kill you. And the reason I will say that is because my beliefs as a man at that time and all my childhood was like, a man don't back down. A man faces his challenges. A man runs to his challenges. You guys are talking about me? What's up? I'm right here. What's up? Like, that's a man. So when my mind was consumed by these ideas of what a man should be, a Conan the Barbarian, a Troy, the Gladiator, right? When my ideas of a man should be Jason Bourne, like, there's no way I would have ever left, right? Because I think it's glorious to die, for one. I was infatuated with death. I always envisioned me dying on the streets. Always. And I always thought, I'm going to go out with a bang when that day comes, right? And I looked at death as glory. I looked at death as the passage to manhood. That's how retarded I was, right? So when I come to prison, I'm like, shit, if you couldn't stop me with a gun, you think you're going to stop me with a knife? You better bring 20, and God bless you fools, right? And I know it don't work like that. I know you bring 20 fools, I'm dead meat out there, right? But the mentality was so vicious like that. That's how I used to think. I'll be like, it's going to be a good day the day they swoop on me like this, because I already knew what I would do in a situation like that, And it's sad, James, because in these times, there was not too many people stabbing people in the eye, right? And in those times, they'll be like, the what if questions. Or what if we remove you? What if? And I'll be like, the first thing is your eyes are going, fool. I'm taking both of those. You're going to remember me forever. And I started verbalizing this shit on these prison yards. I'll say less than 5 years later, fools are missing eyes here and there. I don't know if that had to do with me verbalizing it, but that's the way I always looked at it. Because my dumbass was saying it, and now I was sparking ideas in other brains. Because of my sick and twisted ideas. Because, like, if you're going to come try to kill me, you're missing those. And in the future, even in the later years, like now, sometimes there'll be one on the floor after the stabbing. And it never used to be like that. I can never recall it being like that. And that's something like, again, a butterfly effect, you know? Because of this stupid little boy who thought he was Rambo. And again, I don't know if that played a part in it, but at least in my mind, it will forever play a part in it, you know?
Man, that's heavy right there. You know, just man, that's like, I think that's up there. You know, taking somebody's eye out is like, man, you need it. You need your vision. You know, and then going from to one eye or zero eyes is, I mean, yeah, you could be a pirate for Halloween, but that's just once a year. But then it's not useful in any other time. Bro. So it's all.
And those thoughts came with the what ifs. Like, what if you get removed right now? Like, you got me fucked up, bro. If I get removed right now, God bless the other side. Remember how I used to say that? Mm-hmm. Like, don't pray for me at that moment. Pray for the other side. Because whoever's fixing up. So I had this warped sense of belief in what a man should be, right? And remember, I said this a while back. I was extreme, bro. So when it comes to me and thinking, it's like real extreme. And when you think extreme, like everything else falls in line with extremeness. Your behavior, your attitude, your 0 to 1,000. Like it was a huge problem for me, and I couldn't even see it all those years, bro. I didn't even know it was a problem. You know?
And what made you realize that it was a problem, that you did have a problem?
Self-help. In 2014, I believed I had changed already, right? But the reality is, I didn't. I might have changed a lot, but I didn't change yet. In 2014, the bill passes for me to come home one day. When that bill passed, it was everything to me. It was everything to me because I told you I knew I was going to die in prison. I felt it. I knew it. It was beyond belief. It was fact. It was going to happen. And along with that was the thoughts of society turning their back on me. Remember, I played the victim role when I came to jail. I didn't think about the person I had killed. I thought about my life and how you gonna do? How you gonna take away my whole life? I'm a kid, so I still had that kind of thought process, and I turned all that hurt and pain into anger, and I lived my life in here. And in 2014, all that shit gets stripped away. And they say if you're a juvenile lifer in California, every juvenile lifer, you're going to go home someday. Now, the law was too new. We didn't know how we were going to get out. But we knew we were going to get out. I had taken self-help before that, right? But when I told myself I'm really coming home, I knew there was still a lot of stuff inside of me that needed to change. Just like I told you.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Just like I told you about the guy that snitched me out, who got me in here, who I blamed. The sole reason why I came to jail was not because I committed murder. It was because of him, right? I'm playing the victim role. I'm not facing responsibility. I didn't do nothing wrong. This fool did everything. No self-help taught me to forgive that man. But a prison cell and the ideas of going home and the ideas of never wanting to come back, never coming back, I had to forgive him on my own. Now, what taught me about problems that I had that I didn't know yet was the self-help stuff. Was going to these classes all day and learning and conversating. And then you start grabbing bits and pieces. And you're like, okay, that's why I was like that. Okay, I could see it. That's why I did that. And coming from me, that's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow because I'm somebody that's like, no, I did it because I wanted to. No, I did it because because that was me. No, I did it because it's all me, all me, all me, all me. The reality was it wasn't all me. I had help that I didn't know was helping me. And I had to take that apart, just like a car, like reverse engineering. Bring the Toyota, and we're going to take this shit apart and see how everything works and put it back together. Oh, that's why this blinking light works. That's why it goes like that. You know, that's what you have to do to yourself in here. And the self-help, without doing it, I would still think I was fine, and life is what it is, and it's all good. You know?
Well, I'm definitely glad you snapped out of it and you came to your senses, because you definitely come a long way. And if you would have never made that change, we would never have these conversations.
Yeah, bro. It was I'm gonna say this too. It's not easy, guys. Like, if I got anybody in prison listening, the self-help, it's not easy. It's not like learning to cut locker, you know? It's not like using this for the handle. It's not hands-on. It's harder to grasp. Now, maybe if you're book smart, maybe your brain gets it quick. But me, I wasn't like that. And I'll say for the most of us, it's not like that, because if it was, we would all know it ASAP. And it takes a while, because before you know it, you go to a couple classes and you think you know it. And you're like, oh, I got this down packed. But you really don't have nothing down packed. You really haven't dug that deep, right? And the only ones that are going to know that is the board members. Because when you get in there, you give them everything you got. I mean, you're fighting for your life. You're fighting to go home. This is everything. They're getting everything you got. And you fall short. And that shit is so disappointing. But if you get around good guys, they open you up. I've learned more off of inmates than any free staff that has taught a CGA or taught this or taught that. And I want to say something too. CGA or AA or any program you got in prison, they're different. They're different on the other side than they are right here. The best way I could describe it to you guys, if I'm talking to an audience that's in prison right now, the best way I could describe it to you guys is like a job. A prison job to us is nothing. You're a porter, you're a kitchen worker, you're this, you're that. It's nothing. We'll get a write-up on any given second. We'll protest, we'll quit, we'll do anything on any given second, right? That's what we consider a job. But when you come to this side, the job changes too. And I did not know that. And now it feels like a real job. When you feed the kitchen, when you're in the kitchen and you feed everybody, you start feeling like, man, I fed 1,000 inmates today. It brings a sense of a gratitude, right? You start operating like it's a job on the streets. You start trying to get ahead, whereas the other side, you don't. Well, it's kind of like the same thing in self-help. No one's striving to get ahead. You're trying to learn. You're trying to, like, I need this bit and this piece for the board. But when you come over here, it opens shit up like 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I've taken self-help in all kinds of institutions. But the best yard I've ever learned from was Centinela. Centinela D yard. The inmates.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
The inmates that are here right now, it's about 30 of us. And all of them fools are sharp. And I felt so stupid when I came here because I had years in self-help, and the stuff they were teaching me was mind-blowing to me. And I couldn't believe how far these fools were ahead of me because I have been taking self-help forever. And I don't know. It's the pathway to go home. That's all I can say. And to the audience outside,
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
when I come on the show and I talk about us, keep in mind 30 people is a small percent of individuals on the prison yard. So we're kicking butt to go home. But the rest of the prison is still the rest of the prison. Like, no one else is trying. So don't think it's peaches and cream. Like, when you come and you have to want it. As an individual, you have to want it. And you have to make it work wherever you're at. Because everybody ain't like that over here. It's just like the same 30 people, and we all kick it, and we all learn, and we grow every day, day in, day out. I ain't got time to be over there with these fools doing this or that. I ain't got time to be over there with them. I'm trying to go home. So I want to say that for the outside audience. Like, don't think the whole dang place is all good, biscuits and gravy, you know?
And this call is about to get disconnected. If you want to call us back for one more. And we'll go ahead, all right, the call got disconnected before. Hopefully you heard me. And I want to go ahead and welcome Angel from the 805 and Righteous Monkey. Appreciate you guys, tapping in, the support. And we've been on this call with Joe for about an hour, 20 minutes. We'll go ahead and do one more because I do have some other pending calls later on, so I want a little break in between now and then. I believe David and Jesse will be calling me up today around 5, so you guys definitely want to be on the lookout for that.
This call is now being recorded.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Joe. So, just want to let you know that we got Righteous Monkey in here. We got Angel from the 805. And then we got a ICEMAN tapping in from work.
Okay. Happy to have you guys on board.
Absolutely. And I want to mention something to you that was funny right now. So last time, when we're on that GTL video visit with Chupi, and wife, you remember when my wife walked into the room and you were like, hey, there's somebody in the background.
Oh yeah.
So right now she came and she kind of like she cracked the door open, and she just stuck her hand in. This time I was like, don't worry about it. I don't have the video going on right now, so you're safe for now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For now, huh? Yeah. She brought the tacos in.
Oh,
the tacos in. I could hear you.
Man, that would have been definitely good. Some tacos right now, but now I got some rice, some pollo, and some potatoes. So I got some pollo guisado.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good, bro.
I was starving. I haven't eaten anything all day. The only thing that I ate was an orange in the morning, and other than that, I haven't eaten anything. So I'm glad she was reading my mind because I was about to pass out right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't try to mislead any of the audience. That's why I said it's only like 30 of us, right? Because everyone else is still, like, if they go home, they're going to come back. They're going to reoffend. They're still in the lifestyle.
Hey, let me ask you something. So, because your community is little, okay, so on your yard, it's 30 of you. How many is your total? What's the population on that, the size of that population on that yard?
It's not packed up right here. It's in these recent years, prison is like scarce, right? So I want to say it's like, I want to say it's like 600, 700 inmates.
That's it's still a nice chunk of people there.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Because the only way I could think about it is like uh you guys are like the odd man out, like you guys are your mindset's totally different. You guys are looking to go home, and then you have like the majority that's still participating in their whether it's uh their politics, or whatever's going on, selling drugs, cell phones, stabbing each other, fights, intimidating others. Like how do you get away from that so it doesn't affect you?
Um, I don't know, bro. But I know this. When you put this prison yard together, the other 29 guys around me, we got the most time sentenced, and we got the most horrific crimes. So the rest of the population, I mean, I'm sure there's still stragglers out there that haven't changed yet, right? That are just the same with us, but for the most part, they don't have crimes or time or like nothing like that. I look at them like almost non-factors, like a bunch of idiots that if you really want that, you can sign off, bro. Like the homies will never reject you. Go ahead, sign a piece of paper. It will be open arms with all yards across California saying, "Come here, we got you guys. Come over here. You can come over here with us," But they don't want to do that either. So I look at them like, I don't know. It's like Fugazi,
And what you mean by
Even though
that?
they're still doing their thing, Fugazi. You know what a Fugazi is or no?
Yeah, fake.
Yeah. They're just fake, bro.
And I
I
learned
don't care if they do a stabbing here or there. They're fake. A Fugazi, to my knowledge, is a fake diamond. So you're just Fugazi, bro. You're just a fake diamond. You're trying to shine.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You're trying to shine, and this ain't the place for it, bro. If you want to shine, like I say, you could sign a piece of paper, and all the homies will welcome you back so fast, boy. They'll be like, "Yeah, we got a cell for you. Come over here," And but I don't know. You could just tell. You could tell what's genuine and authentic and what's not. They're getting in meaningless trouble, stuff that they don't have to do.
And then, so a lot of the people that are there in your yard, they don't have
Yeah.
long sentences like you, right? Possible life sentences.
No, most of the guys that are here that got like real time. Like again, you might have stragglers out there that are not ready for change, right? But most of us are the 30 people. Most of the guys with that have done something that are trying to go home, we're right there with each other, The rest of them are just, I don't know, they're just passing through. They're just, they think they're Terminator 1000, but you got to go where the Terminators are for that,
Yeah. You know what? Have you
get
ever?
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I hear what you said. Now that you bring up that topic, have you ever heard of anybody? Have you ever witnessed anybody signing their chrono and going back to GP, going back to the main line, or is it just like an urban legend?
Bro. I don't try to hold nothing from the audience. I don't like. I don't. I'm not trying to hold nothing from GP. They're on here listening. I ain't trying to hold nothing from you guys either. A couple years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, CDC said they're gonna for the okay. the institution said they will send gang members back. Now, what I mean about gang members is because on the other side, nobody says like this big old unit is a gang. They just call the unit what the unit's called. You know, this is just boom. You just call it. This is what it is. You know, oh that's them, that's them, that's them. They just got names, but nobody says like, oh, this is our gang, right? So when you cross over and you're on this side, 50-50 SNY, non-designated, like fools call themselves gangs. Like the guy that posted, oh, is that numbers or whatever? They got like a bunch of them over here, bro. I'll say like 10 of them, right? And I won't say their names, but there's like 10 different little guys here and there, right? But when they said they're gonna send these little guys over there, only on the yard I was on, bro. I can't speak for all of California. Maybe the other yards are rowdy and they were loving it. But the yards I was on, bro, them fools were like, oh hell no, you know. And that's when you see everything like, yeah, Fugazi. I knew it, like, you know, because instead of running to the challenge, like if your mindset's old school and you're still trying to live a lifestyle and say, oh, I'm a man, then part of being a man is running to the challenge if you're still thinking like that style, right? But no, they didn't want to go over there, bro. They didn't know what will happen. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hide nothing from anybody who might be on a cell phone here in the GP side, right? They were scared to go. There is no other way for me to say it but say it like that. And they were saying the gang members. So they're not saying like us or people that are better in their lives. They're not. The CDC wasn't talking about like that. They were saying like these little fools that still want to be over here.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Still want to be over here and still want to be stabbing and still want to be doing this and that. Like, we got a place for you. We're going to send you over there. I'm only talking about those individuals.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they didn't want to go.
I remember when that was on the, those were some headlines, being out there and.
Yeah. And they'll never admit that, bro. They'll never admit that, but I remember it, bro. I remember the look of concern and I seen it all, and I was like, yeah, you didn't make it the first time, bro. You know, not gonna make it this time.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. I'm sure that was like. I don't think anybody wanted it, except maybe like whoever was making the decisions up in the CDCR, whoever came up with it. But
yeah, because if you're on the other side too, James, and you're trying to do good, can you imagine that's like offsetting? It's like, damn, here I am trying to do good, trying to mind my own business. I got 2 years clean, and then they're gonna send these fools over here, and I'm gonna have to get off, right? So it's like it's just ugly all the way around, And no one's going to admit that, but that's how, I know deep down in their thoughts, that's probably how they were thinking too,
And right now that you say that, you know what? It's like the equivalent of kind of like going to CMC, right? Because you end up in CMC, you wouldn't be able to stay there if you were in the main line, right?
No, but they do now. They do too, James. They again. I had partners just come from CMC, and for the last couple of years, CMC, that prison, I want to state this to everybody because everybody might not know this. I'm more talking to like the incarcerated individual population, if anybody, right? If there's anybody on. CMC is a prison that no matter what yard you're on, you can go to the other yard, which means you could get off on the other yard, bro. You could literally walk over there. You could do what you need to do. And you could leave. But nobody does that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Nobody does that. And they're paroling. And they're like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm straight. Woo. And it's like, are you? Because, I left everything alone. But even in my mind, no, you ain't. When you could physically do something and you don't do it, that's off the credit score,
Yeah.
Everybody knows what's expected of them, So, but CMC still plays that. They still got people over there that think, well, I don't know, bro. Things times change. Maybe they are. I don't know. But for sure they are saying it. They are saying like, hey, we're 100% right here. Yeah, we'll just turn the blind eye for all you guys that we can reach, you know?
But just
Yeah.
for clarification on my end, because CMC was always a mystery to me. I remember.
We never were allowed to go there.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
You know? That's from my knowledge.
Yeah, because
I know things changed, but yeah.
You remember a few conversations ago I had mentioned a buddy that I had that was gonna parole this month. You know, he just went up there to catch a number and he was coming right back.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, man. I would say maybe like in 2005, maybe 2006. He had ended up in CMC. And this was before like SNY was like everybody knew what SNY was and things of that nature. And when I went to pick him up, we were driving back home and he was like, man, like he was like, man, I just got off a bad yard. And then he kind of like broke it down to me. He was like, man, practically this is kind of like an SNY yard. And he was like, if I ever go back to prison, I'm gonna have issues. And well, I mean,
they probably won't know. Oh yeah, they will. They will know. Never mind.
They did. They knew. I'm not sure how he got that cleared or whatever. But he, you know, the last time I checked, you know, he was still on the main line. But yeah, I'm not sure how that played out for him. But yeah, and so for those of you that are not familiar, CMC, as far as for that would be for everybody, right? Or not for everybody, but can the paisa stay on the
for all the yards?
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
No, because how you gonna stay like no? Even then, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, James, you want a fun fact for you?
Yeah.
When you go to LA County, they don't separate nobody.
Oh, they don't?
So all the new offenders, no, they don't believe in that, bro. So all the new offenders that are, say you're a first-time guy right there, right? Your credit score is good, right?
Yeah.
But for all the guys reoffending, coming to prison, they just throw them back in. And they all just mingle again and do the recycling thing again. And just, I guess when they go to prison, they go wherever they go.
Hey, call me back. This is definitely news to me.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware that in LA County they didn't. I thought they would separate them, like in prison. But this is the first time of me hearing about that. It was funny because I went to court. I don't know, it was like last year or the year before that. And I was trying to ask one of the sheriffs, one of the bailiffs from the Superior Court, because he was telling me he worked in county jail. And I was like, hey, how does it work? With the GP and
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello?
Okay, hello? Yeah.
So you know how you mentioned that right now? It's funny because, I went to court maybe like, I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before that. I was getting, I filed some paperwork to get resentenced. I got sentenced to a county lit, which is 365 days. And I wanted to get it switched. There's a form you could fill out to get it changed to 364. And some of you might be thinking that it's one day. One day doesn't matter. It might not matter the most, but it does matter to me. Just because.
Well, it matters if you got killed on that day. It matters if 365 would have killed you. Bro, and that's the real reality,
Yeah.
So I feel you, homie. That's like being on the line and you're waiting for a transfer, right? And you're like, dang, I made it to 3 years, and you're trying to leave this 180, and you're like, damn, bro, every day counts. Like any day, these things could turn on me, Yeah, I know the feeling, bro.
But for me, the reason I went ahead and did filed the paperwork is because sometimes when I travel, there's certain countries that won't let you in if you've been sentenced to more than a year. So I'm like, I've never,
Okay.
Luckily I've never had any issues. I've never been sent over to secondary or anything like that. But I was like, what if, what about, somebody sees me and they're like, hold on, yeah, I've seen National Geographic. This guy doesn't look like he's here for, to be a tourist. So, just to cover, cover my bases, that's one of the reasons, I did it. But anyhow, I digress from what I was going to say. So I was talking to there was a sheriff's officer there. And I was asking him, I was like, hey, so what's going on right now between the GP and the SNY? Are you guys separating them or whatever? He didn't give me an answer.
Yeah.
He didn't elaborate on the whole situation. But right now that you mentioned that they're just like throwing them to let them figure it out. That definitely leaves me scratching my head right there because
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
In my mind, I'm thinking like is it running like state prison where they're like GP would have their own units or pods or what areas and but now you definitely threw a curveball to me today. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this.
Well, I think they do separate you if they know you're a gang member on this side, right?
Yeah.
I think those guys do get separated, right? Like for lawsuit reasons or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the mass majority of people over here ain't playing no stupid none of those games no more, right?
Yeah.
Either you're trying to go home with us, trying to get out, or you're just doing your own thing, but you left all that stuff alone, right? And when they go back to the county, LA County. When you go back to LA County, they just throw you in like nothing. And I only know this because all the guys over here, they'll be like, man, fool, I was scared. I was like, hey, and they're like, we don't play that. Get your ass in there, man. We ain't seen. And for the audience, the outside audience that's hearing this, right?
Yeah.
You guys got to keep in mind that this is LA County. This is where, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cops had gangs. The cops were gangs. These are the 2,000 boys, and they're throwing up twos. A bunch of them mobbing everywhere on the streets together. These are 3,000 boys. These are 5,000 boys. Like, they're throwing up fives. They're throwing up two. They're throwing up the floor they're on. And they're saying, we run everything. And they got in trouble. James, I don't know how fast your Google Twitters are, but I think they really hurt a federal agent that got sent in there undercover to
investigate or to uncover to find
unravel, yeah, to unravel that whole situation, right? Because when inmates complain, nobody listens. But if you got like so many inmates, and this could be a possibility, I think the Fed sent somebody in there, and I think they hurt him. I think they changed his wristband, changed his booking number, had him hiding over there, healing up. Like I think he went through some things in there. And these are the days when I'm talking about, well, this is the 5,000 boys, fool, what up? Like, they're tripping on each other. They're like, our floor is better than yours. We handle our inmates better than you. So keep in mind, these cops are rugged, is what I'm trying to say. Even with the disbandment of that, they're still rugged. They don't care. You came from what prison? I don't give a, get in there. So they throw everyone with everybody is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there's not even no filter system. Like in prison, we have a filter system to weed that out. But I guess in the county, maybe they don't want to weed it out because there's cameras everywhere and there's more picking up time. So the powers that be, they don't. It's not a top priority for them to spend any time or energy trying to weed that out. So everybody just floats until they come back to prison.
Man,
unless you specifically know somebody. Unless you specifically know them and remember and are like pushing the issue. But other than that, they're just mingling in there.
Man, yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, I definitely got to look into that.
Yeah.
I want to.
That's crazy though, huh?
Yeah.
Because Yeah, yeah, cause you know, but yeah, fact check it, bro. Don't take my word for it. Pretend I'm Donald Trump. Fact check everything. That way the audience could like, boom. That joke guy, he spit facts, boy. You know, what I mean, we heard enough fact checking with him. Anything he said is golden. You know.
Yeah, but you definitely be dropping a lot of gems and a lot of knowledge. You know, I really appreciate what you bring to this
Yeah.
YouTube channel. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, this is my life, bro. I mean, I wish I could not say that, but this has been my life forever. You know.
How long have you been down already?
27.
27.
27, bro.
And what how old are you? Are you from 81 too, or from 80?
79.
Oh, 70.
Yeah. You made me go there, huh?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like a 79 Cadillac, huh? Okay.
Hitting some switches.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so,
bro.
yeah. So and you've been down since 98, right?
97.
97. Man, you took me way back, man.
And you know what?
Yeah.
The whole year, too, bro. I got 1 month of 97. And the whole year, I'm talking about the beginning of February. February might have not even known it came yet. I get locked up right there. I do 11 months in the county, 97, and the rest is history.
You know what? In 97 was the first time that I went to a glass house in Van Nuys. And
glass. Oh, in Van Nuys?
Yeah, because I lied about my age.
I know a glass house. I know a glass house at that time in Pomona.
Yeah.
I think off 2nd Street in Gary or somewhere right there.
Yeah,
I didn't know they had 2 of them. Okay.
Oh no, they had a few glass
Okay.
houses. They had the Van Nuys glass house. They had, and I could only speak of the ones that I've been to. So I know the Van Nuys glass house because I've been there.
Yeah.
And I was underage, and then I also went to Parker Center, which was the downtown glass house, which was the biggest one. And man, I seen some dude get stomped out right there on the glass house. Like, what? Like we've only been locked up for like 20 minutes. They're already stomping people out already. I was like, man, this system's definitely moving.
Glass house is rowdy.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Do you remember the party crews back then?
Yeah.
I mean, not in general, but like the names.
Yeah. From LA or from like I knew the ones from LA. I knew like I remember like Invasion, Foreplay.
Clash.
Which one?
Clash.
That one doesn't ring a bell. Like I knew the ones that were like in my area. Like I was more towards like the downtown LA area, and those were like, man. Those like these fools like the Invasion, man. These dudes were like.
Yeah.
They called themselves a party
off the hook.
No, but these fools were like
straight. But they were like a gang, huh?
Yeah, it was like these fools.
I know. I know. Sometimes it goes that way, you know. They'll be like fool invasion.
Yeah.
I can't say it because my throat's messed up. But everybody knows what I just did right now, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I definitely remember, you know, like the 90s were definitely off the hook, you know. It was gangs, party crews, and
what about the whistle? What about the whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. Remember we were talking about, you know, the club scene, you know, back during that time, and all those clubs that were going on, like Sweet Sundays, the Arena.
Yeah, all that,
Carnival,
bro.
Kicking
your feet to the side. Kicking your feet to the side on the way back, huh?
Yeah.
before Too Short brought the whistle. You know, that's where he did it. When he made that song, I was like, oh, this fool copy ass. But it's okay. It's all good. We know where the real whistle came from.
Man, I remember going to ditching parties in warehouses right there, like in South Central, when it was still called South Central.
Beautiful days.
Yup.
Beautiful.
I remember, like back in, was it? I think it was 97. No, was it 90? Yeah, it was like 97, 98. They had a purple shield and Raging Waters.
Oh man, I missed that, bro. I was in jail for that one.
Yeah, I think it was.
I would have loved it.
97, 98. Man, we were so dedicated to go to that one. We ended up jumping on the bus. One of my homies had a G ride. I was like, nah, I'm straight. I'll take the bus. we'll see you up there.
Bro, I always had money, and one time my bum ass crew, there was like stragglers that had no money, and I'm like, I'm not paying for all you guys. So what we ended up doing was we went behind Home Depot, and you know the cardboard boxes that they put together.
Yeah.
Okay, so the refrigerator cardboard boxes, we ended up taking a brick of them cardboard boxes, like a big old brick, cutting the gate, putting it on the back of the truck, and we didn't know the back of the truck would lean so far down, right?
Yeah.
That thing went, that thing was like.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
We took that shit to the recycling center and got paid, and then we were like, okay, we got some money. So we started going behind the Home Depots and the Home Depot. There was another one, but we started going behind that and just recycling all kinds of stuff till they got the money to go to party, you know.
Yeah.
So we always had adventures with the broke ones, you know.
That was always, that was mandatory because you got to remember, like a lot of us, we were kids back then, and our parents were struggling as it is.
Yeah.
If you weren't out, supporting yourself in some way, then you didn't have nothing coming. So like as far as like my friends and whatnot, our hustle was we used to come up on electronics and CDs. We used to come up on CDs and we used to cash them in. We had a spot that would pay us $5 per CD. So we would go hit Blockbuster or the warehouse, and each of us will
and do runs on CD.
No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't do runs. Nah, we'll go on their stealth. We would go in there. We would cut off all the alarms.
Hey.
And we would put on our body, like we would either put on our like put 5 on one pocket, 5 in another pocket, slide another 5 down my legs, and then do another 5 down the other leg. Or if I had a backpack, then we would cut off all the alarms, throw all those CDs in the backpack, and we would hit like 3 or 4 spots in a day. Yeah.
Dang, bro, I had 2 little rugrats out there. They were crimies all the time. Yeah. They would go and they would do CD runs, like people do beer runs.
Yeah.
They would grab all kinds of CDs. Like DJ Quick, Safe and Sound. They'll mob up with like 30, 40 of them bad boys. $5 a pop, $5 a pop. We'll be like, every new CD they always had. I'll be like, these fools are something else. Don't shut it.
Yeah, nah, we couldn't we couldn't do runs. We would go in there like straight up and like ninjas,
incognito.
And then and that's how but we would go all over the city, we'll be in Hollywood, we'll be in Torrance one day, we'll be in Hawthorne, with South Bay, in the Valley, Tarzana. We would be all over West Covina.
Bro.
Like the LA County was our whole playground.
Discriminate.
Yeah, we didn't play around.
Yeah.
We were sick. We were sick.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Did I tell you how when we got the studio, how we used to get food? Because for a while, did I tell you that or no?
Nah, you didn't tell me.
Hey, bro, when I'm like 15, we get a studio, and we have this studio till I get arrested at 17, right? And they probably had it after, too. And I remember I used to have money. Another homie had money, but the tribe was broke. Like, they were broke for the most part. And sometimes we'll bring food.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
They'll eat it, so we stopped bringing food. And one day we're like, fuck that. This fridge should not be only holding beer. Like, it should have food in there. So we got sweats. We tied the shoelaces up at the bottom, and we had these foods going to Albertsons, Ralph's, Alpha Beta, Food for Less, Stater Brothers, everywhere, bro, throughout the whole cities. And they'll just walk, and the food in back of them will open this, like, pull the sweats and be throwing all kinds of food down there. And they'll come out looking like Santa Claus with their legs all stuffed up and backpacks. Yeah, bro, good times.
Hey,
but I got to go to work right now.
You got to go to work? Okay, all right, then.
Yeah.
All right.
Then till next time, to everybody, I said thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you shortly, okay?
All right, then, cool, man. Thank you. Hey, have a good one.
Okay. You too. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, then, guys. I appreciate you guys, tuning in. Obviously, right here towards the end, we started veering off, and I was reliving my Al Bundy football stories and whatnot about the stuff we would do when we were younger. We laugh about it now, but it was fun, back then. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to everybody that tapped in. Righteous Monkey, ICEMAN. Who else was in here? Angel from the 805. Biddy K, J-Lo. And that's everybody that was participating in the chat. For whoever, whoever catches it, the stream on the rebound, shout out to you guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll be back in a few hours. What time is it right now? It's 12. Oh, not 12. It's 2. So maybe in about 2.5 hours or so, around 5, we're gonna have Jesse and David on. I know a lot of you guys enjoy, as I do, speaking to them. So we're gonna have both of them on today, and then possibly I have some other people lined up. Hopefully, the quality of these calls, maintains steady, because right now it was awesome, phenomenal. And we got some good audio without it being all choppy and whatnot. But anyhow, so like I say around here, life's like a candle.